What's good, everyone? I am here at Studio 101 with Gen Prophecy and the Plague.
Yeah.
Plague. They are Phoenix Storm. We're at Studio 101 so they can finish up their upcoming album, Thru The Ashes. So thank you guys for coming and meeting with me today and being my first interview, so I appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
So basically I want to know about this album. I've heard a little bit of it and I think it's pretty amazing. So how did you guys meet up? How did you guys become Phoenix Storm? How did we get to doing this album?
I'll let you take it because I know he wants to. Go ahead.
Alright, well, it's a long story. I'll shorten it. Basically, we were in a 4-man group. We had 2 other guys. We're still cool with them, but we don't really make music anymore. Basically, we had a project coming out. It was called Rough House, and Rough was an acronym. It was so long ago, I don't really remember what the acronym was.
Yeah, me either.
But we got like 3/4 of the way done.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 guys were just kind of like, we're not really feeling it anymore. Even though one of the guys, it was his idea, like the whole concept was his idea. So basically we, they didn't want to do it, they wanted to work on some solo stuff, so.
Kind of left you guys hanging?
Yeah.
Yeah. It turned out to where it was 4 of us, then it was 2, and it was kind of just going to be whatever at that point. And it was kind of why? We might as well just keep it going and see what we got. I personally.
Yeah. So how did it end up just being the 2 of you guys, and how did you guys come up with the name Phoenix Storm?
Well, he had moved to Orlando for a little bit, and at that point, I was kind of just working as a label owner, trying to, because like I said, we all still cool, so we was working with them, and I was trying to help them with their solo stuff. But then that, went down the drain too. We had an argument about how to roll out different people's projects, so then they want to do their own thing completely.
Yeah.
A lot of conflicts.
Yeah. So at that point, he hadn't really made music that much at that point, and I was kind of, by myself, feeling like I wasn't by myself, but I felt by myself, and I just was I don't even know if I really want to do it anymore. So then I hit him up, and I was like, yeah, man, I think I'm just gonna drop the whole music thing as a whole, because obviously things are supposed to be hard, but when you have something to the point where it seems like you're not getting anywhere at all, then it's okay, maybe it's not for you.
Right.
So.
But that's a combination of both of us pretty much. I don't know if you can call it we didn't die or nothing, you know what I'm saying? But you could call it like a beckoning or a resurrection kind of, because from that group that died, the rough or how PFK, that's what it was. From the PFK that died, up came Phoenix Storm, the 2 out of the 4, you know what I mean? And just
kind of a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, and that's kind of where the name comes from, because we kind of felt like we were burned. We put a lot of time and money and effort into it, and then they just kind of up and walked away. And they're young, so it's not like they did it on purpose, but they didn't, because they weren't paying for the stuff. They didn't really realize okay, if you guys just walk away, that's cool, but now we're losing investment. So we kind of felt like we were burned, and
But you guys are still cool with them till this day?
Yeah, we're still cool. But we just decided to rise from from that burn. We got burned to the ground, and then we just had that conversation and said, you know what, fuck it, we can do it. And it's funny because anytime we listen to the old music, if you really pay attention to the old stuff, the PK stuff, a lot of the times we were close to each other anyway. Our verses were right next to each other. We would do choruses. He'd be the high and I'd be the low.
Yeah.
So it was kind of it was already.
It
was already there already. We just didn't realize it. So.
Yeah. So with this album that's going to be coming out, From the Ashes, what inspired you to do this? How did this album become?
Man, how did this album become? Regardless of what's happening around the world, okay, we just felt like we needed that outlet, because what we always want to do is be able to, hold a higher, how do I say it, not a higher standard, but be considered one of the higher ones when it comes to rap. And I know a lot of local rappers and everything like that when it comes to, how do you say it? I don't know, my verbiage, I don't want it to be off, but I know as far as local rappers, okay.
That's going to be one of my questions is how are you guys different from a lot of the local artists that are around here?
One, I don't really get the chance to listen to a lot of it. I know it does get played here and there, and I actually am able to hear it, but at the same time, I want to make sure that they at least know that we exist, you know what I mean? Because you can't even have the people you don't even think is good in your own area code even,
Right.
and they don't even know who you are. You know what I'm saying? We actually, like, I consider it like pretty quality work. If you actually, once the tape drops and you're listening to it, you can actually be able to tell the work that we put into it. Most definitely.
Do you listen to any of the local artists around here?
Oh, I know you got a couple.
I mean, it's not like shade towards anybody. I'm not really a fan of anybody, but as competitors, I listen to a little bit of everybody.
So there wouldn't be anybody that you heard that you'd want to like be in the studio with or record with?
The only rapper I would say is Mike James. I really like his project, University EP. The whole body of work is just very solid, and I feel like it's like on our standard. Cause I mean, he'll tell you, even the guys from before, they'll tell you like I have a high standard when I come into the studio. Like I'm real picky with it, and I don't like to play because it's wasting money. You know what I'm saying? You come in here, so he's the one that I feel like is just like he's on our caliber. He just has his own different style, and a lot of these guys have their own different style. But you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like.
So what is your guys' style? Like I know you've listened to a bunch of them. So how are you different? Like what separates you from everybody else? Like what's your sound? Like how would you describe
we're the
your
lyricists.
sound?
I mean, if you want to put it in one word.
Yeah, and anybody can really sit down and really call themselves lyricists. You can use any type of words, but at the same time, it's hard to really say sound and how are we different, how are we similar, because sound is just something you feel. Even though you're listening with the ears, it's something you feel. So regardless, somebody could feel his music way different than they feel our music. They can still be the same quality, but really you have to get down to it is like, if you want to look at it technical, like, all right, well, how is he coming in on the bars?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
is his dubs good? Can I hear it faded well, or how's the production? Stuff like that.
Right.
But when it comes to actually like the song, like, oh, I sound way better than him because we doing this, doing that, I would never even come up with my mind because, like I said, they got rappers that like I think are complete, you know what I'm saying? And they're out here more views, more popularity, more sales, anything than what we're on. So it's just all in perspective.
It's like the complexity of it. Like when you, like he was saying, like if you break down, like if somebody says somebody's a dope MC, you have to break down like what makes a good rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes they have the melodies, then you have the flow, you have the delivery, you have the lyrical content. Do you have any wordplay?
Yeah.
And I feel like we do that the best. Like especially like the complexity of our actual lyrics, and then you compile them with the flows that we do. Like we like to entertain throughout the whole entire song. So in a verse, you'll never hear me or him do the same flow all the way through. It's consistently changing, but it changes so smoothly. It's like you may not even realize how many flows we did because you may only really remember the 2 or 3 that you really liked, but it's just like consistently changing. So to me, that's what makes our sound different,
I did go and listen to a lot of the stuff that you guys have out. I personally like diss records and things like that when I hear them. So there was something Red.
Yeah.
What happened there?
So basically, to make a long story short, like I've known Buddy since high school. We never really had a problem. This is when we were still PFK, and I don't even. He was there, but he wasn't even rapping at that point. I don't believe, because this is like when we first started. So he was just kind of like, just kind of listening in, and we had this performance or whatever, and I didn't know we had a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like when I see him on a personal level, I never had a problem. But then on a artist level, he was on stage performing. We were going like 2 or 3 people after him, and he just like I don't even remember the lines.
Remember that.
I don't remember what he said, but it was like my girl at the time was like right in front of me, and he just came over. And he was like, she sucks dick, swallows cum, like craziness. I'm like. I'm looking around like, yo, what the fuck just happened? Like, I didn't even know we had an issue.
Right?
So
I remember that actually.
At that point, like I'm heated, obviously. So I get on stage and I'm trying to be professional because it was like our first real performance. And I didn't say anything through the whole performance, but then I said something at the end of it, and I like called him out in front of everybody, like, yo, that's some bitch shit to initiate some type of a feud when I can't respond without being unprofessional. I was like, so if you got an issue, you know what I'm saying, we can either throw hands or we can fucking do a freestyle battle out back, whichever one. I just like dropped the mic and I walked off. But he had already seen him leave, so I mean, what kind of shit is that? How you gonna say some crazy shit and then leave shortly
Right.
after?
So, like, did anything ever get squashed after, or did they ever meet up with you to freestyle or something?
I mean, what happened was I sent out a diss, the first one, and it was more gimmicky. It was literally like bait, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? It was bait. Just, hey, I just want you to say something so you can get ate up, and he didn't respond. But people would still talk about it here and there. Nobody really understood what the problem was because most people. They don't really support local artists, so they weren't there for that local artist show.
No.
So then the second, 2 years later, he hadn't responded, so I was like, I still didn't feel like I had enough. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it could be because of the artists that I listen to, but I feel like, you know what I'm saying? So I like made another one and I like really went in on it. And I didn't give everything because I was like, maybe now he'll say something, but I gave enough to really, the second verse is more so of like where it came from. Like, a lot of people don't really realize, like, the reason why I said it was a shock to me is because people don't know, me and him were supposed to have a promo battle as friends. Yeah. Like, we were just supposed to, his project was coming out, and when we first started, we were just coming out. We were brand new. So it was a way to display myself for my team and then get ready for his project. And he kind of, like, backed out of that. Like, I had my second round done, and he just kind of, like, stopped responding to me. So that's why it was a shock. It's like, a year and a half later, all of a sudden you just dissing me out of nowhere on stage. So because of that, I was like, nah. So I had to get him one more time. And I was petty. I was petty. I made sure I took the fucking link and I was posting it on his comments of his videos. And I really wanted to make sure he heard it. But I still never got a response. But
he never responded.
Never responded. I never even got
a text.
I would think
someone would at least respond, like, "Oh, you ain't shit." Again.
Yeah, I didn't get a text message. Yeah. I didn't get a call from a friend of his. Nothing.
Wow, that's super lame.
The only thing that like really let me know that he had to have heard it. I was in the mall with my homeboy Cliff, and we went. This is like when Jimmy Jazz first opened recently, and we walked in there. And one of the guys that worked there, I didn't even know, but he was a rapper. He was like, "Oh shit, bro, yo, Jen, I heard the diss," and I was like, "Damn, niggas like really heard that shit." So, yeah.
So if everyone else heard, he had to have heard it. So for him not to say nothing, that's
And I mean, at this point, it really doesn't matter because now it's what?
Shit is dead.
It's crazy long time ago.
Like years.
Yeah. So like we seen him. We had a big performance in Orlando. We seen him, but I always say, like, I don't have a problem with Rashad Davis, the person. I have a problem with the artist.
Right.
So in regular life, I don't have no problem. If he said what's up to me, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But just understand, like, don't pick up a mic and say nothing else to me. This is gonna go the wrong way.
You don't want those. Exactly.
You clearly didn't want them. 2 disses and you didn't respond.
For real, that's a back
usually they give
Drake
you something, even if it's like garbage. If they come, at least they
exactly.
do
He didn't
something.
try anything, so it's like
maybe he knew, like he heard it, he already knew. Like,
as long as he respects, my artistry and my skill set in that, then as a person, obviously we're not gonna be friends, but like we can be cordial.
Cool, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's what's up.
And that's what happened.
That's funny. All right, so what would be your like dream like tour or record label? Like, who would you want to hit you up and give you a deal? Or who would be like the dream tour? Like, who would you go on tour with? Or like what famous person out there?
Not too many. I'm like, oh my.
So many, yes. All right, so then we'll just start with what's your dream label?
I don't even know if I have a dream label. If it was gonna be anybody, it has to be somebody lyrical. All right. So you think about any type of lyrical artist, you think of what? TDE. That's the one that come off the bat. You think what's Eminem's? It's Aftermath, Shady Aftermath, something like that. Give me another one. That's the only top 2 that I would really
like for lyrical.
I'll shoot for the stars, but
good music.
Good music.
Kanye.
Oh yeah.
Pusha T.
Oh yeah. Oh
Big
yeah.
Sean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm sleeping. Damn it, yeah, any one of those. Pretty much anybody that I admire in music.
So which artist, if you could pick one artist that you look up to, who would it be? Dead or alive?
If I can pick one artist that I look up, dead or alive?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my favorite artist of all time is Eminem. So, you know what I'm saying? Just to even if he just acknowledged that he knew our music and he respected our artistry.
Or listened to it.
That would be crazy. Or Slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse is a lyrical ass.
Yeah.
That's a lyrical ass team.
Yes.
They feature, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't even think of anybody. I've listened to a wide genre of music, so I mean, if anybody, I had to go with somebody that had the most influence on me, and I would say if anybody, Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi. He had the most influence on me. I mean, as an artist, always down with Kid Cudi. Even when he was kicking out rock albums, I'm rocking it. I'm like, yeah, jamming along with it. But like Kid Cudi, I've been listening to since I was a jit. I can feel like. Yeah.
Do you listen to any other music besides like rap or hip hop or
yeah.
R&B?
this motherfucker's the R&B king right here.
R&B.
He'll hit you with every old school. Like he'll be like, oh, that's Marvin Gaye. Oh, that's it. Like he'll just run it off. You be like, wait, who, what?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. If I could sing, I probably wouldn't rap. To be honest, like, it just got to the point where I was like, my mom just told me so many times I couldn't sing. I just like, all right, cool, I can't sing, but I still like
Your
wanted to be involved.
You can't sing.
They gonna be singing my house, boy.
So, yeah, just one day I just learned how to freestyle.
Yeah. But I listen to all types of music, whether it be rock or I think country I kind of stray away from, even though I dig a couple songs from country.
Yeah,
I don't know any names, but I know that Honky Tonk, the one that's like, oh, no, get down, no. The one he's rapping about booties, that's the one. That's the one.
I like the, oh shit, I just forgot. I think it's Lady Antebellum. They have like they have this one song, I can't remember the name of it, but I like that, like the acapella version. I believe it's Tim McGraw. Don't Take the Girl. It's like super old song.
Yeah.
But this like
I like Tim McGraw.
I just appreciate artistry, period. So it's like it's not even necessarily the genre. It's just like if I just can relate to what you're saying, or if I just think your pen is amazing. Like I personally feel like if Tim McGraw wrote that song, the pen was amazing because it's all about how when he's like a little kid, he was going fishing with his dad. And then he was gonna bring this girl with him, and he was like, "Don't take her. I don't want her to go. You can do everything else, bring anybody else except for her." Like he didn't want any girls. And then like a couple years later, it's like they're like dating now, and somebody like pulls up on him and tries to rob them, and he says, "Don't take the girl," but in a different way. Like you can have my car, you can have my wallet, you can have my watch, you can have everything else on me. Just don't take my girl. Yeah. So you see how I switched. And then the third one was like she was pregnant and she was about to have their kid, and then the kid was okay, but she was like close to dying. So then he got on his knees and he started praying, and he told God to take everything else from him, just don't take his wife. So
you're talking about 3 parts in that verse? It's like a whole way to
it's like 3 verses.
How do you remember? Isn't that country? You must jam that song.
Nah, I just like when I first heard it, it was the way that he did the different vantage points. Was so interesting to me. I never forgot it. I literally heard that song in like 2010, and I haven't really heard it since then. I just remembered it.
It had to have made somewhat of an impact.
That was the first time I ever heard a country song that I was like, yo.
But like, don't try to sleep. He rocks metal. Well, not really metal, but
I like screamo.
A little bit of that screamo.
Like Slipknot and.
My ex liked that shit. And Avenge something.
Avenge Sevenfold.
Oh God.
I kind of do like
cringing.
Like I do like a Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park.
Don't look at me for that.
3 Days Grace.
You like Tech Nine?
Yeah, I like Tech Nine. My personal favorite. He's like probably like one of my favorite new artists. He's a rapper, but he used to be the lead singer of a goth band. He's from the UK. His name is Scarlord. And if you talk about like if you really like screamo rock, and you also like rap, hands down the best fusion of it ever.
Never heard of him.
Like he's amazing. I have so many songs of his on my phone right now. I jam to that heavy, like real heavy.
Well, is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you want like your fans or your supporters to know?
Nah. I feel like such an early stage somehow, you know what I'm saying? People might watch this, but this is more for like later on, like if we would ever catch that buzz and they would be looking at it like, oh, let's check out the young interviews, like, oh, okay, let's see where their mindset is at. But as far as like what I got to say to anybody, like I'm just making music, you know what I mean? I just actually like doing it, even if I'm not in the studio somewhere, I'm freestyling in my car, or I'm writing some random, whether it's acapella or it's something that we were trying to put together, whether it's for Instagram or even just messing around sometimes. it's just fun, you know, and just to be able to put that creativity, like, you know, let it manifest right in front of you, and it's just, you know, it's just an uplifting feeling for you, us as a team, but even more as an individual, because you get to play that, hear it back in your speakers. That was my whole goal when it came to rapping. It's like, I don't care about nothing else. If I get famous, if I get mad money, whatever, I just want to be able to take my thoughts and everything and put it down, and I can hear myself on the speaker. That's it.
I like that. It's pretty dope.
I use music like a journal. So like everything that I write is real. It's not. It may be exaggerated just for entertainment purposes, but it's all from like a real place. Whether most of it's from my personal life, but some of it may be something I've seen or something I've experienced through somebody else. So for me, to be able to have that outlet where I can just express myself in whatever way I need to, and that's another reason why like him and I work well together, because I do like rock. So like I have like a lot of energy. Sometimes it comes from rock, or one of my other influences is mystical.
A lot of energy.
And obviously mystical. Everybody said mystical is like the rap James Brown. So like I used to really like mystical a lot. So
I loved mystical.
I like to add a lot of that energy to it, so you can feel everything I'm saying. Because I feel like the best way to make music, if I'm gonna take the time to write a song and I'm trying to like basically vent on each track, I want you to feel everything that I'm writing. So I needed to learn how to give that delivery so you can feel it, whether I'm happy, whether I'm sad, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case is. So for me, that's what music is. Music just allows me to convey my emotions and my feelings out there, because in my personal life, a lot of people don't understand me, but I think in music, they get it to an extent. I mean, sometimes I think
Probably better than what they normally see.
And this album, From the Ashes, when is it going to be released? Do you have a date?
not really.
Probably soon. That's what I mean. I mean, like, I want to get it out soon because, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like
It's overdue.
we basically it was a good idea from Play. Basically, like, what we did was we've been working on this for like 3, maybe 4 years, something like that.
Life.
Wow.
But the thing was,
It's overdue.
we didn't really have a following at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, people didn't really know who we were.
You
Like,
have a huge following now.
yeah, it's getting up there.
I actually
from
know.
what I
I'm
understand.
completely unaware.
Nobody
Anytime I
tells
post
us.
anything
I know
on
you're
Facebook regarding music, does anyone want me to interview, who y'all think is the best, anything, you guys are always constantly back to back to back to back to back to back.
Straight, man.
Nice to hear. Nice to hear.
Yeah, they don't tell us that personally.
I don't hear shit. All I'm saying.
You guys really do.
In my
You're
world,
all
it's like
like-
3 or 4 people. You know what I'm saying? That's all I communicate with.
I'm constantly getting hit up about you guys.
So we're trying to put it out relatively soon, because now that we got the support and the fan base, because you know you gotta spend a lot of money to do this stuff. So it's just like we knew coming out the gate. Like, the way I look at it is, if I just walked up to you with the box and I was like, yo, I'll give you this box for $5. First thing you're gonna say is, well, what's inside of it? If you think about it, it's kind of the same thing if you give somebody a CD.
Right.
Like, okay, I'm looking at you, you're an artist, but I don't know if that music is good in there. I don't know what's inside that little CD case. So it's like, we want to put this out for free, and we just want to make sure that since we're gonna spend the money and not really get any return, enough people would hear it for it to make sense to do it. So we took our time, and we grew and developed, you know, as artists in that time.
Yeah.
So we think it's about time, you know, we're gonna, maybe like closer to, I don't know, maybe like right before summer. That way we have enough time to spread it out to people, and then there's summer.
Because I feel like, once you get that final project, it is actually, you know, in the files, then you always have to do some sort of advertisement, even though it's kind of like, I hate it too. It's kind of annoying sometimes for like other people's perspective, because, you know, if you're trying to push something and they're like, all right, and they already seen it, all right, I get it, because they're clicking away, you know. But at the same time, it's kind of like we have to, because, you know, when you see any type of movie preview or anything like that, someone's about to come out, they force feed you
Almost
the
like shoving it
previews.
down your throat.
They have to, but then, you know, it'll be worth it in the end. Like, you just so they can hear the listen. It's gonna be. I like it a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
And we gotta put our other music video, and that takes us time, because we don't. That's another thing that separates us. Like, most people, they'll do a music video and it's just like the same thing when you're walking down the street or you're standing in front of
gas station.
you know, something like that. Like, we take the time and like make storylines. So
I like that.
we got a song called Schizophrenia that's a part of this project, and we're gonna do a music video for that. And it's like the continuation from our first video.
Okay.
So it like tells the whole storyline or whatever. So yeah, that's gonna take a while though, because it's gonna be like a short story, and then the music video is gonna be within the short story.
Okay.
Because we felt like since we took so long from Dawn of the Purge to this one to put out another music video, we give a little extra.
Okay.
So
Wow.
once we drop that, then probably shortly after that we'll drop the project. Because we're kind of, I mean, I'm personally ready to get to the next project. Because we're gonna do it bigger and better, you know.
I'm excited.
Now we got our sound.
Definitely.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
All right, well, I do thank you guys for spending some time with me today and letting me help.
Nah, good job. That was
Don't tell them where you at though.
I'm not
Just
telling
let them
them.
figure out what you did.
I'm not gonna say
Tell them what you know what I'm saying.
I'm not gonna
We'll
say
see what they
nothing.
think. You know what I'm saying.
All right, tell everybody where they can find you from. Where they sorry. Tell everyone where they can find your music at.
Well, we're on YouTube. It's Gem Prophecy. You put in Gem Prophecy, that goes to the YouTube channel, and then everything's gonna be put up on there. Our Instagram is infinite_flame_rebirth, which is a long way talking about a phoenix. That's where we put our IG. Oh, we have the IG freestyles that we do. We just take like popular songs that people like. Some people even send in requests, and we'll just do like Instagram can only do like a minute video, so we'll just like a minute little freestyle.
That's a good verse.
So you get like a little taste of what we can do on anything. Because we try to make sure we're diversified. We don't just do one thing.
Absolutely don't want to be like everybody else.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna do a website soon.
Website, website.
So we're just trying to get more things situated and everything.
But definitely that Instagram. Was it again? Infinite_flame_rebirth, right?
You
And
y'all have Facebooks?
Facebook is
Jen Plague. Jen Plague Smith. Facebook will let's put Phoenix Storm.
So whack.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gotta be a real name. I'm like, how you know it was a name, Phoenix Storm?
You know what I mean?
So many
With all the crazy names out here,
It's
Exactly.
radical. You know what I'm saying? Like,
people are called like audio science.
Rita.
Northwest. What if my name was Northwest? You ain't gonna let me? Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah.
All right, well, I appreciate y'all, and thank you again. Y'all check out their album when it comes out, Thru The Ashes.
Yeah.
All right, Phoenix Storm. All right, y'all. Be easy, Brevard.
You're